This week on an African Story special.
No one would believe that we will survive. We knew that we were going to die.
It was the genocide that shook the world exactly 30 years ago.
Until a man who is a Hutu will kill his wife. People that died in the churches. My sister, they killed her 3 times. My baby was 3 years old. That was what destroyed my life.
Meet renowned singer-songwriter, United Nations Global Peace Ambassador, and Rwandan Cultural Ambassador, Jean-Paul Samputu, as we commemorate the 30th anniversary of the genocide that changed the course of his life in a 2-part gripping episode.
So you tried to poison yourself?
Yes.
And for the very first time, he reveals the trauma that would also affect his future daughter. He also reveals exclusively a conversation with the man who killed his father. And somehow, he and this man would collaborate to bring peace to Rwanda. It is certainly one of the most important stories I will ever tell.
I have never met anybody like you.
And it is exclusive on The African Story. We have all seen the movies and read the books, but imagine hearing about it directly from a survivor. First, let's start from the very beginning.
What was your childhood like?
Oh, actually, childhood was good. I can say it was good. I was born in Rwanda and in south of Rwanda called Butare Huye. And I did primary and secondary school in my home village. And when I grew up, I was a musician. I started to sing at the age of 14. So when you are a musician, sometimes even if life is bad, you don't see it. You are happy you play music. So in Rwanda, we have 3 tribes. Hutu, the majority, 85%, and 14% they are Tutsi. And then we have what we call Abatwa, the Pygmies, 1%. So when I grew up in the school, that's where I learned that we are Tutsi. You know, your parents they don't tell you that you are Tutsi, so you are all Rwandans, but I knew that we are Tutsi. Why I knew that? Because I was seeing we are not like others, because the Hutu are majority, but we start to see the segregation in the school when they were asking us who are Tutsi, who are Hutu in the class. You know, just to say that's when you ask me a question, what was your childhood? I say it's good, but except that segregation, except that we were feeling Tutsis, but we were not like, we didn't have the advantage or the opportunities like others children who are Hutu. The Hutu was just, the country, they will tell you that the country is ours, not, we were like secondary, we were not equal. And you can see that when you were as a child. But still, I was happy. I was thinking that God created us like that. God created that Hutu are the owner of the country, the owners, they have come first, then we are second. Then Abatwa, they are third. Actually, for me, that's the owner of the country, because when the Abatwa, they are the ones who are on Rwanda, then the Hutu came after, then Tutsis came after.
They're the original settlers.
Yes. They call them indigenous people. Wow. Yes, they're always about, but they are all marginalized. They are just they live most in the forest. They are, and for me they should be actually, well, we are all equal, but may I respect them. I respect them because also the music I do is inspired by them.
We had heard of Tutsis being more favored, hence the resentment from Hutus. How accurate is that?
The reason they say that is because actually the Belgians, when they came to Rwanda, they found Rwanda and Burundi, they are the only Africans that have only 3 tribes and 1 language. Because all those countries in Africa, they have many languages, they have many tribes. So it was difficult to rule Rwanda because they have 1 language and they have just 3 tribes. So they were united, they are one. So what the Belgians had to do is to divide them. By dividing them, you have to give favor to this, and because it was not because they loved them and they favored them, because they left them in 1959. They gave the independence of the Rwanda back to the other. So there were certain years they give favor to this, then and they keep changing it depending of their interest.
Speaking of the Belgian colonizers, history has it that they exploited the physical disparities between Hutus and Tutsis and then had some form of segregation. Before colonization, Rwandans were more united. This unity presented a threat for the Belgians, who sought to assert leadership and dominance over them. As a result, the strategy of division was adopted, ultimately proving successful and bringing in a regrettable chapter in history.
The colonialists has this the divide and rule. That was their strategy and bad strategy and the politics. Divide and rule. It worked. So the king was among the Tutsi. That's why they thought they favored them. No, it's because they wanted to show the king, we want to help you, we want to support you. But what they did in 1958, they killed the one who was a king. Why? Because he refused the identification cards that the Belgians gave to Rwandans, where you can see them, our ethnicity. They say, I had one where it's written Tutsi. So the king discovered that the Belgians have divided us, and he wanted to change, say, no, we are all Rwandans. We don't want to see this ID. He wanted to change the ID. They killed him.
He is talking about King Mutara Rudahigwa.
Were you a close-knit family?
Oh, we were always close there. You know how Africans, they live? Sometimes I never explain how people were close. In here now, people are not close, and you have phones. But that time we were very close. My sister, who died during the genocide, came to see me when, and it was dangerous. Just to answer how we were close, because he has been like 2 years he have not seen me, because after the prison I had to leave the country. My father told me to leave the country after you'll be killed. You are well known as an artist. So when I went to the other side of the RPF, where we were to support the war, the Tutsi, we were many Tutsis, because when who were in prison, and when they left the country, they joined the RPF, because they were calling them, the Tutsi have to go and support the refugee who decide to return home. So that side, people in Rwanda would come when we had a ceasefire. They would come to visit. So I saw my sister coming from Rwanda. It was a risk. It was like to suicide, and she came to visit me, Rose, my sister, and she went back. So it was difficult to see somebody from Rwanda to come to the side of the rebels just to see his brother.
That's a lot of love, yeah.
Some Tutsis had tried to resist the marginalization they were experiencing. This led to innocent Tutsis being targeted and incarcerated. Jean Paul was among thousands of Tutsis imprisoned for 6 months due to propaganda portraying them as a threat to the country.
When the war started, they put Tutsis in the prison. I did 6 months in prison. When they decide to organize a genocide, they let us go out, not because they give us a favor or they give us freedom. They wanted just every Tutsi to go back home where they were born, that they can prepare the genocide. Very well planned. No one would believe that we will survive. We knew that we were going to die. Everybody was telling us we are going to die. When I was out of prison, I was traumatized because we knew that we were going to die and we were ready. All these 3 months, 6 months in the prison, all those prisoners we found in the prison, they were telling us, no, okay, maybe you still have 3 days, you will die tomorrow. Until 6 months, we were knowing we were just ready to die and we were prepared.
Get us in the mind of the perpetrators. What were some of the propaganda that were being spewed throughout Rwanda? What were the things that were being said? What were the rumors that were starting? What were the signs, the things you were hearing as Tutsis?
Oh my God, they had to call them 1,000 names. They were just the enemies of the country. The population agreed all those names, they were calling us. And it worked for them because that was just for preparing the genocide. They had to dehumanize the Tutsis until Hutus, when they were well prepared to kill Tutsis, because it was for them something to do. Everybody was proud for that. Until a man who is a Hutu will kill his wife, who is a Tutsi, just to honor the others Hutu, just to and with conviction and very proud.
Some church leaders had to even kill their congregation.
Of course, people were dead in the churches. Church leaders killed their Christians because they forgot about Christianity. Then they became Hutus. They killed Tutsis. Then they killed their own Christians, like pastors, priests, bishop. That's what I told you when you asked me the question, how they mobilized people until they forgot their Christianity, then they became Hutu.
That's what happens with the mind.
Yeah, it was the only thing that can actually stop the genocide, And the genocide was possible because of the religious leaders. They are the ones who made the genocide be possible.
If they could convince their congregation that Tutsis were bad people, then of course it's easy to believe it because a lot of people believe in the leaders.
Church leaders and the so-called intellectuals, because there are people in the village, they refuse to kill. Say, no, why can I kill? I cannot kill my neighbor. But because they saw people who went to school, who are teachers, the intellectuals, when they were doing that, they said, okay, even the intellectuals do that, so let us do that. People who didn't go to school, who are in the village, they always follow what the people who are intellectual do. So the genocide were prepared. They created, even the government implemented, they created a radio, just a special radio just to mobilize Hutus to kill Tutsis. That if they kill Tutsis, they will get their homes, they will get their, properties, and it worked. That's how they killed 1 million people only in 90 days.
Coming up, Jean Paul describes how he discovered that his childhood best friend had killed his father. Love what you see? Do you want to see more? Then follow me on all social media platforms right now. Upon returning home, Jean Paul saw dead bodies everywhere and found out some of his family members had been killed.
Some of our neighbors, the closest neighbor who were survivor, are the ones who tell me, it's Vincent who killed your dad. Your best friend killed your dad.
Mm. Wow. And I know reliving everything is really tough. So sadly, when we revisit history, of course, in order to get where we're trying to go, it can be a very tough experience. So I thank you. I commend you for just sharing all you're sharing. Now, you are a popular singer-songwriter, and you were a popular singer-songwriter at the time. Can you talk about the advice that your father gave you that made you leave Rwanda?
After 6 months in prison, the old Tutsis were supposed to go home. My father was happy and my mother to receive me after 6 months. My father told me, they just brought you home, just they want to do a list of Tutsis, they can prepare the genocide. So I will not escape. I did twice, many times. I'm old, but I want you to go. You are known as an artist, a singer, songwriter, Tutsi. You will not escape. You will die. So you have to go. So I went to Burundi because I was known there. I did a tour in Burundi. I went to Uganda. Then I went even to record in Brussels and Germany. I did a tour in 1993. I came back in Uganda, and the genocide started in 6 April. So it took 3 months. And I learned my father and my mother were killed between May and April.
Yeah.
And we were following the news. So after the genocide, I was among of the first people who came to Rwanda because I was in the side of the rebels, RPF.
Part of the Liberation War?
Yes, at the end, it was on 22nd July. I was 23rd July. I was in my home village to see what happened, and when I found my house empty, so I knew that my father and my mother were killed, but my three brothers and my sister, I thought maybe, well, my sister knew that she was killed also, but I didn't know about my three brothers. So I went there just to try to find them. I couldn't find them. We wait 1 year, I didn't find them. So then they told me the story, what happened. So I was always trying to find my three brothers because until now I don't know how they were killed, but they disappeared. So I will, until now, 30 years, there's no news. I spent 9 years trying to understand why such a good friend.
Vincent.
Yes, we grew up together playing soccer. He was a teacher like me because I'm a teacher. He was the principal at the primary school there close to my house, and he was a closest friend to my house, just closest neighbor. And my father, we call him if he wants anything, and he loved him. Yeah, and he's the one who did that. That was what destroyed my life, because to hear and to learn that the one who will actually save my parents is the one who killed them.
Your mother came out of hiding and asked to be killed?
She learned that her husband, my father, was dead. Instead to stay where she was supposed to stay there, then hiding. Maybe she will survive, but she couldn't. She said, no, no, no. She said, no, 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 my husband, no, 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 no. And they killed her before even to arrive home to see her husband. So she was dead.
When you came home and found out what happened, you described it as a death which you had to endure for about 9 years, and you turned to alcohol and drugs. Could you tell us more about that experience?
Yes, because I felt that pain, and that pain will come every day. When I tried to to just to escape, not thinking about, and we take alcohol just to try to not think about what happened, to not think about how I lost my father, I lost my mother, to not think about how my mother was killed, to not think about how my sister, who actually my sister, they killed her 3 times. They couldn't, they would come and just with the machete, they said, oh, we don't want to kill her. It will be good for her. No, we kill her slowly. So all those things wanted to think about that, I would kill myself by drugs and by alcohol. Then I will end up getting drunk. In the morning I wake up. When the memories come again, when I think about that, then I will drink again. Then I will also have the idea and decision to go and find Vincent and kill him, and those ideas, and so it ended up being traumatized. It was a trauma, and until 2003, where before 2002 I couldn't sing anymore. I was in Uganda, not in Rwanda. One day I decided to kill myself. Trying to find things I can drink, then I will disappear. Then I will not have to think about it. Friends of mine who saw me said, no, he's dead. They brought me to a mountain just to pray for me that they can bring me to the hospital. While I was there in that mountain, that's where the miracles happened. People prayed for me, and I found healing through prayers, and I spent time 3 months in that mountain. No phone, nothing, just there, learning. People, it's a mountain. People gather there, just for prayers. People go there to pray. It's a mountain well known. So I found miracles there because I didn't have a choice. Because I know I was brought there because I was dead. Then I couldn't. It's like I want to die, but God doesn't want me to die. I will hear a voice telling me, you didn't create yourself. Why you kill Jean Paul? I always joke with people saying that if the justice in Uganda, if they want, they can put me in the court because I tried to kill somebody. Who somebody? I say, I tried to kill Jean Paul Samputu. So if they call me and say, Jean Paul, did you try to kill somebody? Did you come? Yes. I will say yes, because I was just not able to kill Samputu, but I killed him, but it didn't work. So if they put him in justice, I say, you tried to commit a homicide, you want to kill somebody. I say, yes, I did. But that somebody is me.
Premeditated murder on yourself.
Yes. You put it in a nice way. Thank you.
So you talked about being on the mountain. Prior to that, your friends were certain you would die, and they even took you to witch doctors.
Yeah. Yes, you know my story.
Yes, and the witch doctors were tired of treating you.
Yes. Oh my God. They tried everything. They tried witch doctors. The witch doctors were tired. They say, oh, actually, there is one witch doctor who said, you will be saved by those people who pray. I said, are you? What a kind of witch doctor? Witch doctor, the old doctor, witch doctors they are not praying. They don't know about God. How you know about that? And me, I was not a believer. I was somebody, because after the genocide, I said, no, the God does not exist. Actually, I composed a song called God, Where Were You? Why people, why you permit those things to happen? And the witch doctor was saying, no, I don't want you to come here anymore, because you are not, I cannot do anything for you. So find those people. But then I ask you, why if you think somebody is powerful more than you, why you don't go there yourself? And he said, no, 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 for us, she said she was a woman. She's a woman. She was saying, no, for us, we have our God, which is Satan. For us, we are lost. We are indifferent. So you have people who pray for you. They are like, take you from here. So I don't want to have problems. So then I was in prison in Kampala because I was always end up in being in prison when I'm drunk, maybe I'm not paid in the bar. I would find myself in prison not knowing how I get there.
Why were they putting you in prison?
Because I was fighting or because I was too much drunk. Sometimes I will go to prison and don't know what happened. But I knew, then I asked myself, how I came here, why I came. So it was, then people prayed for me there. And it was horrible. I was just waiting to die. And I had these ideas of killing myself. Then I was thinking, if I die, then I will not suffer anymore. Then I will be okay. Then my family or people who know I'm a drunk, so I will not have to suffer. So let me kill myself. There are those stuff people were taking when they want to die. I took that, then you lay down, you sleep 3 days, and then after you die. So they brought me to the mountain knowing that I'm dead.
I'm sorry, you took things that you took like a drink that would have killed you?
Yes.
So you tried to poison yourself?
Yes.
Wow.
But it didn't work. What happened, I found myself in a mountain in the middle of people in the circle. They are praying. They were praying. When I woke up, I didn't know where I am. As the same, the same way when I was drunk and in a prison. Now that time it was not a prison. So I said, oh my God, where am I? It was another place, people praying. At the same time, I slept like 1 minute and I heard a voice telling me, you know that song, You Become What You Don't Forgive? That voice was saying, you become what you don't forgive. The only way you'll be free is if you take a decision to forgive. So your power is in forgiveness. If you forgive that man who killed your parents, you will not die. So, of course, the first time you will not, you say, no, cannot do this. And that voice will come all the time. It took 3 months until.
On the mountain.
Yes. I will hear that voice tonight. I will hear that voice in the morning when I wake up. I will even, like we are talking, talking with somebody and talking myself, and I will speak some words not mine. That song I wrote, you become what you, they are not mine. Forgiveness is for you, not for the offender. I will not, just find myself speaking that and knowing it's not my words, then I will answer. I will always answer negatively. I will say no, always, until I saw that if I forgive, I will live again. If I don't obey this voice, then I will die. So I had to balance. Then I said, no, let me do it. So I made that choice, and I actually decided even to go to my village to do that, to try to find Vincent. And I knew he was in prison. I went to prison actually to find him. They couldn't allow me talking to him. So that's where, and that time I was living in America, touring. Many things happened when from that decision to forgive, my life changed. And I won a core award in that year, the same year in 2003. I went to South Africa to win the core award. And because of that award, I was invited in America to record. In America, I won another award and won another award. But I will go back to Rwanda to try to find this and his family, to say that God told me to forgive him. And I did that.
How tough is it reliving this? Do you occasionally experience PTSD? Do you have moments where you feel down based on your experiences, or you've completely closed that door as far as your grief is concerned?
You know those words I just described? Those words I just spoke to you? Mm-hmm. You cannot talk about those kind of stuff if you are down. So think about that. So you cannot be down when you have forgiveness. When never, I'm always like this, and I'm always strong. And I think it's God who made this that to happen. God gave me that power. That's why I always be strong. I feel it. I feel strong because those stuff you know you must to be strong in this world. You need to be strong. You cannot preach forgiveness if you are weak. No.
Did you experience any survivor's guilt, survivor's remorse? Did you ever go through the psychological feeling or the guilt of still being here when some of your family members were taken away?
You know, when I spoke about forgiveness, when the reason actually God wanted me to heal me through forgiveness is because I was killing myself. I was Vincent told me the reason they have to kill my father. They were killing him, not actually. I felt it's me who killed him. He made say that, you know, you went to sin in the robbers' side, so your father was supposed to die. It's like you killed your father yourself. And I was feeling the guilt, as you said. And also I had a child also that killed the genocide because her mother was Hutu. My baby was 3 years old, and from a mother who is Hutu, but his mother was Tutsi. They said, don't kill my daughter, kill me. I said, no, you are Hutu, we are not going to kill you. Why you want to kill my child? Then no, because the child is for Samputu, and Samputu is a Tutsi. We have to kill him. So it's like I was feeling guilty that I killed my daughter, and I killed my father, Samputu. Even my sister who came to visit me, and she was died. Maybe as I was saying, maybe she was dead because of me.
In the concluding segment of the two-part series, Jean-Paul talks about how he met Vincent, the man who killed his father, at the Gacaca court, and how they would both go on to a reconciliation mission to help heal Rwanda. He also shares an exclusive video featuring another daughter, Claudia, who he believes suffered cognitive trauma because of the trauma he felt from the genocide. Yari injana mundu imbazi goseveshi abinohore babatishanga iyimarida chinga kaboko naware kurokoka 14 years. Hola, do you want more contents like this? Then I need your help. You see that subscribe button? Yeah, it's right there, right under this video. All I need is a click. With your subscription, the algorithm becomes more favorable and it helps spread the word faster, and then I get encouraged to do even more contents like this. Get it? See? And please make sure you tell everybody you know to also subscribe. I truly, truly appreciate you. Keep it locked.